do you have a don't be that analyst?
Ooh, I would say don't be that analyst that responds to a lengthy request completed within an hour and says, sorry for the delay, because you are setting up a expectation that we have a magic button that we do not. So please do not be that analyst that is quick to the response and set yourself and your colleagues up for unrealistic expectations.
That's good advice. All right. So our first caller is Brian. Brian, what's your don't be that analyst?
Don't be the analyst who uses phrases like reimagine and circle back.
Circle back. We were just talking about circle back, right?
Yeah.
So that is a little bit of jargon, right? And
oh, yeah.
One of the things that in my office we joke around about, and we downloaded this top 10 office jargon, and it's funny when it comes into play. One of the jargon was, when you're in a meeting, if you want to sound smart and there's someone doing a presentation, you interrupt them and say, hey, actually, could you go back to that last slide? And then say, oh, yep, okay, good, continue. And you don't even really need anything, but the fact that you do that, you command the room and make yourself sound important. And
right.
Like a week later, we were all in a meeting, and that happened, and we questioned whether the guy was legit or was just doing that to sound important.
Yeah, that's definitely a great way to seem like you're taking some seriously diligent notes there, whether or not you actually are.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, we did that. Don't be that ass. We were talking about circling back.
Yeah. Also, if I'm asking you to circle back, it's probably over email, and it's probably because you didn't answer something that I needed you to. So let's not use circle back or do anything to elicit an actual need for circle back. Let's try to avoid that altogether.
Yeah, respond the first time, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next on the line is Eric. Eric, what's your don't be that analyst?
Don't be that analyst who's condescending to your research partners. Be nice to the academics.
He is obviously talking from his camp, right? The researchers. But it is interesting with analysis and academics. This, I don't know if I would call it a love-hate relationship, but it's not as smooth as it should be.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's love-hate either, but there's definitely sometimes like an us and them mentality when it shouldn't be that. We're all here to accomplish the same goal and further the field. So we're all team at the end of the day.
And I really do think part of the struggle is telling the story, explaining what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. Meaning the research gives us the idea or the best practice, but then getting it into police department and explaining what the research is telling them, I swear is half the battle.
Oh, for sure. I mean, research, that's what's informing the profession on what best practices and different solutions are, but people don't like change.
All right, next on the line is Jim. What's your don't be that analyst?
Don't be that analyst that says, oh, you want me to look into that residential burglary spike over in the Larceny Heights neighborhood? Sure thing. 30 minutes later, hey Sarge, here's a printout of every residential burglary in Larceny Heights over the last 2 years. I know it's a long report, but that's because I went the extra mile and included some burglaries from the adjacent neighborhoods too. Then 2 weeks later, geez, I feel so underappreciated. I just don't get it. Why doesn't anyone listen to me? I do so much and they never seem to take me seriously. Don't be that analyst.
Oh man. Do not be that analyst! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Yeah. I think it's definitely tempting in the beginning. And this gets me back to what I was saying before, where you really have to know and understand the case or the reason why they're asking for it in the first place, right?
For sure.
And so if they are looking for that, there's certainly asking you to do that. There's certainly a reason for it. There's something that they're after. And you need to know that. You need to know the scope of what it is, because technically the analyst didn't do anything wrong. If he was asking for the list of burglaries, that's what he gave him. But certainly, as you have already mentioned too, there's so much more that you can do.
Yeah, for sure. And you got to know where to expend your energy. And if you are just throwing all of yourself and all of your resources into every single thing, on top of being completely burned out, you're just not going to have enough hours in the day. So you're gonna think people are seeing what you're doing, but really a lot of times they don't understand how much time and attention you give to certain stuff. So you just gotta definitely dig into things and definitely don't stop at just what is asked, but certainly know what's worthy of your energy and what isn't.
Good. And next on the line is Danielle. Danielle, what is your don't be that analyst?
Don't be the analyst that just does the bare minimum. When somebody asks you for something, dig deep, and you will find that you can provide them with so much more information. Don't be literal. Just really expand your knowledge when you're looking for something. So don't be that analyst that does the bare minimum.
It's like she just heard our conversation.
Danielle is my spirit person. Oh my goodness. She hit the nail right on the head. She's so right. A lot of times, and I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but there's some times where you find something and you get really excited about it and you go and you show your detective or whoever you're working with, and they're like, and you just see the like excitement in their eyes, and they just think that you gave them something magical. Like that all comes from not doing the bare minimum and digging into something. So totally preach, Danielle. You got it.
And the last one is Joan. Joan, what is your don't be that analyst?
Hey, Jason, what I would suggest is don't be that analyst that goes into another analyst database and changes their original queries without telling them.
Oh, that would be, that's fighting actions right there.
Oh yeah. That's like such a big analyst pet peeve.
It reminds me the one time I had a coworker and his heart was in the right place, but he went through our network folders and changed the names of them because he didn't like the names of the folders, which if somebody that's not technical might not think that's big a deal, but when you have links and connections and all that stuff going through all those folders, you just broke all those links by changing the names.
Oh.
And that was
yeah,
a little bit frustrating. So I can imagine about changing queries or changing stuff that you don't let the rest of the team know that you changed.
Yeah, you never know what you unintentionally broke and added work on to somebody else for.
Yeah, but it goes back to understanding the full scope of things, right? And
yeah,
it happens with new analysts. You're not thinking that what you're doing will make an impact. And certainly once you get in there and experience data and police departments and all the ins and outs of the job, you find out this stuff that everything's connected, right?
Yes. You start to realize that there are unintended consequences sometimes when you dig into some things. So yeah, sometimes that's unfortunately a trial and error thing you learn.
So that's don't be that analyst. And if you have the don't be that analyst and you want to be on the show, you can always contact us at leapodcasts@gmail.com.